welcome along to Cairn Hill Cabin in County Cavan in Ireland. And my name is Margaret McKenna. I hope the internet is good there. Seems to be frozen a little bit off, but we'll manage. Okay, so today we're going to paint and draw an owl against the moonlight. And it's a barn owl, and a barn owl is a lovely big owl, sort of quite white looking, and it looks quite impressive when it's flying because it's got big wingspan and everything. It's a lovely looking bird. You don't often see them. I think I've seen one once here actually, one night. And it's a beautiful bird. So we're going to put it up against the moonlight, and we're going to have a big moon in the background, and we're going to use 2 pieces of paper like we did before, because what I want to do is I want to do the background first, and then we're going to do the owl afterwards. So we're going to use a smaller piece of paper to draw our owl, and we'll have our background sheet to do our background on. Okay, so the first thing we're going to need is a pencil, and I'm going to use a rubber as well, but not just yet the rubber, but just to have it. And we're going to use poster paints is what I'm using, but you can use other paints if you want, or crayons, or whatever colours you have, it doesn't matter. Okay, now remember what I said before about using your pencil. Use it nice and light, so you don't hold your pen, so you get your pen nice and light in your hand. Don't hold it down at the top like you're drawing. You hold it look nice and light in your hand, and then you can do a nice light line. So I'm going to do a heavy line. And the reason I'm going to do a heavy line is so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to start by drawing a big moon. So we're going to go a moon up here like this. It's going to be, I'm going to imagine it's going to come right down around like this. It's a big moon. So make a big, it's not even a whole circle because the circle will go off the page. You know, it would be very handy if you have a big plate. It'd be very handy. You could put it on it and just go around it, and it just have a little bit of it going off the side of the plate. So I'm going to put a little bit up here like that. So that's going to be. Now remember, you can look back at this later on as well. So there we go. So now we've got our moon in. It's a bit wobbly, isn't it? It's a little bit fat on that side. But we'll colour that up with our paint. So remember, do it really nice and light line, because you don't need that to be heavy. Okay. Now, so the first paints we're going to need is some blue paint. I'm using poster paint, some blue paint and some black paint, and I'm going to mix the 2 of them together. So it's blue and black together. A nice big brush. Now remember, if you have any suggestions, please let me know, because I'm going to put them into my tub at the end, and I'm going to pick out another one. All of your suggestions are in here, so please let me know. It'll be brilliant. So some blue and some black. So I'm going to mix that now together. See, black and blue there, okay? And so we've drawn a big circle here, okay, on the page. We use 2 pieces. We're going to use the background first, okay? So we're going to get our black and blue mixed together, and we're going to go do it like around the moon, just around the moon like that, look. The whole way around. You can just colour your page now with this. Just colour your whole page with this like that. Keep going around and around. It gives it a nice, like, even you can see the streaks slightly in it. It doesn't matter. It looks quite nice. And you don't have to be too perfect about how you colour it. So sometimes it might be a bit bluer. Sometimes it might be a bit blacker, and that works quite nice. See, look. So we're going to put all this up here, all around like that. I'm going to colour that little corner in as well. But see, you can use a plate. It'd be very handy to get that big shape. Get a plate out of the kitchen. Make sure you don't break it, and just go around it, okay? So, hello, is it trying to look at the names? Kira, my eyes, I need my glasses looking at the computer. If you have any suggestions, please let me know. I said, because I'm always wanting to do, they're all your suggestions that I'm doing anyway, so any more suggestions will be more than welcome. And I hope you're keeping busy, all drawing and painting and doing lots of interesting things. Now, and playing music, and at least the weather you get out in the garden, hopefully. Now, okay, here we go. Look at this. See? So see where I'm going around all the time? So I'm going round and around and around and around and around like that. Like this. This is quite an easy picture. It's not a hard one to do. Because it's just really. But if you go around, it gives it a nice look. See, it's like there's a glow in the sky, so it does, like a big glow in the sky. Okay, now I'm going to add a little bit of white. There's my white. I'm just going to take a little bit of white, not too much, so don't put too much on the brush. Just, you take it and then you kind of take a bit off the brush, right? Take a bit off the brush and then just go around like that, around the outside of the moon. And it's like a kind of light from the moon, then you get a light from the moon, feel for the light from the moon. See, like that. Now, and that's more or less my sky done, okay? I'll just put a little bit of dark in there, missed a few spots. Let's go back to my dark one. Now, there we go. A bit up there. So, there we have our sky done. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to do our moon. So, how do I do my moon? I'm going to wash my brush. Make sure your brush is nice and clean because we've got lots of blue in it. We don't want a green moon. So, we're going to do a nice, what to call it? A nice light bright moon. Okay. Just going to get a bit of paper just to mop that down a bit. So get nice and bright. Now what we're going to do, we're going to get our yellow and we're going to get our white together. So we're going to mix our yellow and white. So get a real pale yellow colour, like a light yellow colour, okay? And we're going to colour in our moon. And how do you colour in the moon? Well, I started in the middle and I didn't go backwards and forwards. I did exactly like I did on the sky. I just went around and round and round and round and round. Maybe add a bit more yellow, white to that. Round and around and around and around. So just keep going up and like you're mixing. Imagine you're mixing in a bowl and you're mixing something up. A bit like that. Round and around and around. And it makes it look lovely and roundy. So you kind of see the lines of it. And sometimes you can let more white go on it. It doesn't matter if it's sometimes a bit more white, sometimes a bit more yellow. That's absolutely perfect. So just go round and around and around and around and around. And we're getting up to this outside now. Here we go. We can just bring it out. There, like that. And do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make it whiter around the edge. So around this part up here, look, I'm going to make a big bit of white around there. Just give it a nice white bit around there. You still see a bit of yellow in it. That's fine. Not too white. See? Like that. And you can take your time doing this. Remember, you can always come back and look at this afterwards. So you don't have to do it all exactly the same time as I'm doing it. You can come back and you can look at the video afterwards. And I'll put it up on YouTube as well. For anyone who doesn't have Facebook, you can let your friends know that it'll be up on YouTube as well. Okay? I have another one to put up as well, so I'll put up 2 of them today. Now, okay, so we're going to make the shapes in the moon. And do you know what these are? These are like the craters on the moon. And they're all these they all have shadows. If you look at the moon, especially with a telescope, you can really see all these colours. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to mix a bit of my black colour. Okay, and I'm just going to put a bit of white with it. So a bit of white and black. And see, it's got a kind of grey colour there, look. Very light grey, very light. I don't want to make too much. And again, don't put too much on your brush. So you can just take your brush and just go like that, okay? And now, we just go like this. We just put it on the moon. And remember the way we went all around? Remember we did this roundy thing? Well, we're going to do this kind of like the same with that. So we got the black and the white, black and white. Now, if anyone's just joined, all what we did was you can use a plate to make a big circle. We put black and we did blue here together, and we put a bit of white in on top then to make it kind of lighter around the moon. And then we put yellow and white for the moon, and then we put a bit of black and white for the shadows on the moon, like they're the craters. They're like they put often say the people, the man in the moon shape. And we're going to come around like that. Look, see, get a bit darker than that maybe. Because it's still quite wet underneath, so it's picking up the colour. You can just add a bit more. Now, see like that? Okay? So you're going to add it a bit darker, a bit. Just like that. And it'll mix with the paint underneath, so it'll actually make it nice and light, you see. Okay, so what we're going to do next then is we're going to leave that aside. Just leave that to the side for now, okay? Just let it dry off for a few minutes. And what we're going to do now is we're going to work on our owl. So what does our owl look like? Where's my piece of paper? So we're going to make a separate little piece of paper. Now I'm going to draw this quite heavy. Remember, you don't have to draw so heavy because you'll be drawing with your nice light hand, not down like this, up high. But I'll draw heavy so that you can see it, because otherwise you won't see it. Because I need a rubber to rub out some of these lines after. Okay, so we're going to start with the head. So this is quite easy. So we're going to do a circle for the head, about that size. See, like that. Okay. Now, this is where you have to do the light lines, because we're going to rub out some of these lines. So next I'm going to do a big shape like this. I'll show it to you now. It's hard for you to see it at this angle, but I'm trying to get it at the angle here. I'll come back and show it to you on the like that. And it's going to be big, sort of a shape like that. So, see that? Okay. So we got that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to bring his wing, because his wing line comes just so like where the bottom of his circle is, look, and like that. Now, so that's nearly him almost drawn. What I might do now at this stage is I might go and rub out some of those other lines. So I'm going to rub out these two lines in the middle. Now, it'll be hard for me to rub them out because I did them very dark. You won't do them very dark, okay? I had to do them dark so you could see them. So we're going to rub out those lines there like that. See? You can still see them a little bit on mine, but you won't see them on yours. Oh, where's my pencil gone? And I'm just going to join up that line there like that, so it doesn't look like a big circle on top of another shape, okay? And another one at the back like that. Now we're going to do his face. So that's really him, that his body and head drawn. So he's got a little peaky bit in the middle. So he's got this little, like an upside down V, or just a V, sorry, not an upside down V. See, a V shape, a big wide V in the middle of his head, like that. And then he's got two eyes. If you look, there's a middle bit coming down. Look, can you draw a very light line down the middle of his head like that? Look, really light. Okay, because that's then you know where the middle of the head is, so you'll know that you won't be putting the eyes or his beak too far over to one side. So we're going to put his beak down here like that. Just a little triangle. See, little triangle. And we put a little line on each side coming up like that. Like that. Okay. So we started with a circle. Then we did this big shape here for anyone joining, and we rubbed out these two lines we didn't need, and we put this line in here for his wing, and then with the V here. I put a very little light line down the middle of his head, which you don't really need. It's just a very marker to show where that you will be in the middle, and then you put a little triangle here, and then two little lines here, and of course then his eyes on each side, because they go in there like that. Got big eyes because they have to be able to see at night, so they do. And I might just put a little bit of a line just on the edge of his head, because he's got a little bit of the brown colour that comes up here. Now that's really him drawn, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put in his legs. They've got kind of funny little sort of furry kind of little wide legs, so just going to put the legs in like that. I'm not even going to put on feet on him yet, just like that. Okay, and he's going to be standing on a branch, so I'm going to draw the branch first. So I'm going to put a big fat branch, but I'm only doing a bit of the branch. I'm not going to do all the branch because we want to cut this out. So I'm going to do a big fat branch like that. Can you do that? So we've got, there's his legs, one, and there's the other one, and then a big fat branch like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to paint him. So basically he's mostly white, so you can leave him kind of most of the white page actually. If you want, or you can put in white paint, it's up to you. I'm just going to leave him white, but what I'm going to do, and I'll put a little bit of feathers on him, but what we're going to do then is we're going to get our colour. So I'm going to get a brown. I'm going to get a different brown here, just going to have a brown out. A brown paint, and we're going to mix that with a bit of white paint. So it's brown and white paint together, okay? So we've got a bit of, oh, my thing is falling apart there. It's got a bit of white, see? And a bit of brown. So I'm going to put them and I'm going to mix them together so we get a light brown colour, okay? And I'm going to colour all of him in that colour there. Not all of him, all his wing I should say. And it doesn't matter what colour, that's a slightly different brown I used the last time, that's fine. Just going to bring that down like that. And I'm going to put a bit down on the little V bit on his head, like that. And a little bit on that little bit down the back of his head there. Now you can make his feather, make him feathery. And how do you make him feathery? Well, you can make him, if you find that you've done a very darkish brown, like that, my brown is darker there than that, I might put in more white. And how do I do with the white? I'll show you what I do with the white. We put little flicks. Look, get a bit more white on that. It's a bit browny. Here we go. See? So you put little flicks like that through it. You can hardly see it, but when you see it up close, you will. See, I should show you maybe up close. Can you see the little flicks of white? See? Lots of little flicks of white like that, look. See, like that now. Okay, so what we do next is we're going to get our little bit of brown again and white. And we're just going to put a bit of shadow down each side. Oh, there's a bit of yellow going there. It doesn't matter if the yellow goes into it, actually. Oh, put a bit of brown and white. I'm going to put it down like that. And I'm going to put a little shadow underneath his leg. A little shadow underneath his leg there, like that, because it's a little shadow. And we're going to we're going to put a few little flicks, just like I did here. Again, with the brown and white together. Just brown and white. And little flicks like that, look. Not too many, because he's mostly white. But he's just kind of got that feathery look. See? Makes him look feathery. And we put a little down his nose, just down the side of his nose, just down that side. And we can colour in his little beak too, is it? See? Look at that little flicky bits too there. Little tiny feathers. Use a small brush if you have one. Just makes him look like feathery. A feather, because he's a bird, so he's feathery, obviously. So now we're going to put a little bit of his, put a little bit there, look, a little bit there. See, like that. See? So that's a light brown. That's the brown and white together, just. Brown and white together. And then we're going to do two black eyes in him. So we're going to get our black. So I'll get my black here. Where's my black at? There it is. Find my black. That is my black. Put it on his eye here. And his ear eye here. Like that. And you know what I'm going to do next? I'm going to get a little small, if you have a small brush, great. Because I want to get a bit more white out here. Because I need a bit more white anyway, so I'm just going to put it out. It's getting to the end of my white, I'm afraid, so I'm going to have to try and find some more white somewhere around the place. Just have to bang it out of this, which is a bit annoying. Sorry about the bang. That's this. Okay, here we go. There's a lot in it, so it's stuck at the bottom. Now, I'm going to get a little bit of white there, and I'm going to put a tiny dot of white in his eye. In each eye. See, like that. And that makes it look like he's looking at you, you see? When you put the dot of white in the eye, it makes it look like a real eye. It makes it look sparkly. Now, we're going to put a bit of black down here on the actual, on the branch. Okay? So get a bit of black. You paint it. It's not a great strong black, this I have. It's more like a grey, but it's meant to be black. It's the poster paint, it's not very strong. Anyway. Now. Okay, so that's black in there, okay? And you know what? We're going to cut this out, but I'm not going to try and cut out that little space because it'd be much too hard. So do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to paint that. Remember, that's going to be the sky colour, see? So I'm just going to put a bit of my blue into my black, like we did for the sky. Remember, we used blue and black together for the sky? And I'm just going to paint that in between the legs. So it makes it much easier to cut out then, because you won't see it against the background, see? So the next job now is to cut that out. Don't worry about his feet. We'll just let that dry for a minute and we'll put his feet in there. So we're going to cut that out. So I'm going to cut oh, it's sticking to me here. Sorry. Now, okay, so I'm going to cut this branch out like that. You might need some help with this. It's not too hard a shape though, because he's a kind of a big sort of overall shape, if you know what I mean. I'm going to come up around the side of his head like that. And down like that. So remember, if you have any suggestions, please let me know. Please. Hello, Catherine. I mightn't see them all. Sometimes I don't see suggestions coming up, or sometimes I do on the live streams. I don't see them till afterwards. But if you have any ideas, let me know, because I'd love to do what you want to do, basically. This owl is one of your suggestions. And I have several in my tub. Where did I put the tub? Somewhere a minute ago. It was under there. I'll do that now. Okay, so here we go. Now, so there's our owl, okay? Now, so we'll go back to our painting. If anyone's just joined in, we did this earlier on. This is when we just the beginning of the class. So we're going to put this down and we're going to stick him about here, I'd say. There. Yeah, just overlapping a little bit. So I'm going to get my glue. I'm just going to, I have just this kind of glue here. You could use a Frit stick or any kind of PVA glue of any sort, really. So I'm just going to just glue him here on the table here. I'm coming to the end of my glue. I have another glue somewhere. So I'm not stuck for glue. Now I'm just going to stick him all around. Make sure you get the edges of him. And we're going to stick him about here, okay? He's a bit skinnier, this fella, than the other lad. He's not been eating as much as this other fella. Okay, here we go. Now, there we go. So now we see our owl. So what are we to do next? We have to put in the branches. And this is nice, actually. So what you do is you get your black first of all. You start with the black ones. Because if you look what I've done, do you see what I've done here? I've put black on top of the moon, and I've put the white ones in the sky, so it's like you can see it, so you make sure you can see them all together, okay? So I'm going to get the black first, and I'm going to put a bit of the black. Well, I'm going to do a bit of the black on up here, because I want to get it, and then we can add a bit of highlight. I didn't put a highlight on that, but I will. So I'm going to get black. I'm going to see where I have the branch really thick. I can go back a bit on my branch now and make it a bit darker, because that you mightn't have to, but this paint isn't very strong. So because it's not that strong, I had to go and so I'm just going to bring this really dark here like that. Gives you another coat. Now we can continue that black out. You see, pretend, look, there's the width of the branch, make it the same width, and then we can get skinnier, make our line go skinnier, and we can bring it back up into the cloud or up into the moon. If it takes up with the moon, it's just because the moon is still a bit wet. My moon is probably still a bit wet in places. You can wait till it dries a bit for this if you want. So, how do you do branches? Well, the thing about branches is nearly to let them draw themselves. If you kind of just, now hold your brush. I'm going to teach us this when even though this is something I would teach to grown-ups, you might as well start learning when you're young because it's really fun. So hold your brush really light, okay? And just drag your hand up like that. And just let your brush, I'm going to put more water on that, just a little bit more water. So that your arm nearly draws it. Like, and you just twirl it around like that, and you can twirl, you can just put it there, and you can just put one up here. And every time you do it, don't try and copy the ones I have. Do your own ones. Don't say, oh, exactly, Margaret has put one there, so I have to put one exactly there. Because that's much, do your design. It's your tree, so you make sure you know where you want your branches. So I don't even copy my own ones. I make them different every time. And that kind of makes it fun. Sometimes if you try to copy too much, it makes it not just much harder, but it's not so much your own then. You know, you want to do your little bit to it and make it like your tree. Because this is your tree. So you make your tree the way you want to make your tree. You can put leaves on it if you want. Now you see the way it's happening? See how high I'm pulling my brush? If there's any adults here, you'll probably on doing it, because I know some of the mammies and daddies have a go. And you can twirl it. Now, like that. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do some of the lighter lines. So, I'm going to use some white now. I can add a bit of white to the top of that branch, for example. Look. See? See, it makes it look. And we can add his feet in. What do we do for his feet? We get 1, 2, 3, like that. And we just go 1, 2, 3, like that. Okay? And we put a bit of light there. Now, we're going to put another light branch coming down here, because it makes it look nice against the dark sky. So we're going to do exactly the same. Just bring it wherever you want to bring it. Make it nice, up. And we can just do lots of different branches. It looks nice against the dark, the white does. It's like the moonlight just hitting the branch. You can let it go right off the page in places if you want. You can put one coming down here. You don't have to. You can put to do it. I'm not even looking at the other one except just roughly. You don't have to do the same as the other one. So I'm going to bring 1 or 2 up here maybe. Oh, a big lump of white came on that. A bit too big a lump of white there. I'm going to put it now like that. I'm going to let this one go off the page. Now, I put one there, and we put one here, and we can let It's really up to you where you want to put your branches. So there we go. And we can make that dry and we could put more branches onto it if we wanted to. It's up. Some days you might have to go back over it a little bit. And sometimes you don't. Depends on how strong your white is, because some of them are different strongness. Some white, if you're using acrylics, you'll be able to go really quick with it. Because acrylics is much stronger paint. But then you have to be careful to have clay, old clothes on you, because it gets on your clothes. It's very hard to get out. Whereas this poster paint washes out very easy. So you're used to using poster paints in school. Now, there we go. And that's it. And I think that's it. I think that's our moonlight barn owl for today. So what I want you to do, if you have any suggestions, please let me know. And if you have your pictures that you'd like to show, put them up on the Cairn Hill children's page, and you can join it. Actually, I might put some of them up all together afterwards in another day and put them all, the selection so far that you've all put, because some beautiful work on up there. And it'd be nice for everybody to see it. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to pick out my suggestions. So please, if you have any suggestions, let me know. So what I'm going to do the next time is, I have it here. I have no clue what this is. It's a raven. Okay, so we're going to do a raven. So we're going to keep it on the birds. So I have an idea already for that, because I know the other day when I suggested, I think I could do something, a nice little picture with a raven in it. So yeah, so join me on Thursday at 12 o'clock. And please, if you've missed anything, just play it back, because you'll catch up then. Okay, thanks and bye for now. Bye.